Okay, hello choir. This is an ed puzzle where I recognize that we need to continue to work on not only critiquing timbre within solo singers, but also just critiquing the voice in general. And I thought that that's best started by critiquing ourselves. So I'm going to apologize for my voice quality during this video. I am still sick. We're pending test results right now. But this, I figured today what I would do is I would show you some older videos of myself singing, and we would critique a little bit um, on my own singing and just in general some things to work on. So this video, I'm going to be honest, will probably have less questions because I know that if I ask you to critique, oh, how do you think this sounded, or how do you think I did? I know that I'm either going to get people who are, going to be. I might get some people who are wanting to be nice as opposed to being accurate in criticism. So I think I'm going to make sure I tailor the questions to fit that, so we're not worried about that. But anyways, let's get started. So our first one we're going to go back to is way old in the year 2010. This is my first time singing solo ensemble in high school. I wasn't able to do it my freshman year. And this is If Music Be the Food of Love. So we're going to listen to a little bit of that, and then I'll give some critiques.
My name is Alex Lentz. I'm from Craig High School. My company is J.P. Bird. Today I'll be singing the song If Music Be the Food of Love by Henry Purcell. And what I like about this song is how the composer uses unique thoughts and ideas to express his love for another person. If music be the food of love, sing on, sing on, sing on, sing on, till I am filled with joy. For then my listening soul you move. For then my listening soul you move to pleasures that can never cloy. Your eyes, your mien, your tongue declare that you are music everywhere.
Okay, just a few things on that. There we go. So a few different things that you can notice. The first is if you're listening, my voice may have a similar timbre, but I'm also my mouth might seem a little bit bigger. At that point in my life, I had braces. I had braces until about the start of my junior year. So for about 2 years, I have this extra little bit of metal in the front that really can change the space of your voice. And it really changed my sound. So you'll notice that there's a bit more of a raspier, like gruffer timbre, just because I have this extra metal in my mouth, sort of making it a little more mushy when I try to speak. The second thing you'll notice, and this is something that I critique pretty often on singers, is just to relax. I was very nervous, and you can see that actually in my arms when I'm singing. They're statues. I have such a hard time keeping them relaxed, and also, I can't really emote or physically gesture at all while I'm performing because my plan was to stick them to my sides and not worry about it. And instead, it just became this nervous, awkward feeling. Some positive things are that I think I stayed in pretty good tune during this piece. I think for a first time out, I actually did all right. This is a Class A piece, so it was a little tougher to go through. And I think it's a decent sound for a younger singer's voice. I would have been a sophomore at this point, so I would have been probably 16 years old. My birthday would have been two months ago, in 2010 of March 9th. So just noticing a few of those things. Another thing that I notice, and I normally tell, especially some of my older singers that have been with me for quite a while, when I'm going up to higher notes, getting that little bit of a bend to help yourself ascend. Otherwise, you get this nice throat stretching portion that you can actually see. I'm demonstrating right now. My neck is super tense. There's a lot of tension in my neck that can be avoided if I just relax my shoulders and sort of bend. So that's just some things that I noticed in this piece. So one of the things you'll notice is obviously there's a lot of things I can do now that I couldn't do then. This was 10 years ago, roughly, obviously more than 10 years ago at this point. So just noticing that, I myself too have improved, and part of that was through work. So next one is a bit of a shift tonally. This was a piece I sang for a talent show. This is my junior year. So this would be the end of my junior year. So I would have been 17 at this point. And we'll listen to a little bit, and I will give some commentary.
She loves him. Seems like they can never let each other go. Laughing and kissing, match made in heaven. But how the rings on the fingers and prints the ink deep in the inner that have sing souls together now. Sing soulmates forever now. Seems like they move to the side of the grass is green. The sky is always blue and it goes on forever and ever, but there is only room to deep in the night, waking from my dreams. So holy and the cries, but I see she's barely. Don't end my life you're all I need. Don't never leave. And she prayed and then she said, save him from the hand that beats me. Oh, save him from the hand that beats me. Oh, save him from the hand that beats me. Oh, save him from the hand that beats me. Oh.
Okay, pausing it. As you can see, people are moving into the frame. I'm sure that this is my mom's video, so I'm sure that made her very happy at the moment. So just a few different things. So the main thing that I want to point out is actually something I forgot to point out in the previous video, which is when I was younger, as a bit of a coping tactic with having quite a bit of nerves, is when I would sing, I would generally close my eyes. It generally made me feel a little more introspective. I'm a little more contained. It wasn't as dangerous to look someone. It's a lot scarier to sing directly into someone's eyes than it is to sing at a wall or sing with your eyes closed. So I would generally do that as a way of emoting. But what it does is it actually closes yourself off from your audience. They always say, the stereotypical thing is the eyes are the window to the soul. And it really does bear true that a better performer keeps their eyes open and sings to their audience and performs for their audience. So that's a trait that I had a hard time grappling with. Vocally, just a few things. What you'll notice is when we're listening to this, because I want to just play a little bit again so you can hear it, is I struggled with breathing. I still do a little bit. And I did what a lot of my music theater singers, I tell them not to do, which is I listened to the singer sing this pretty often and internalized the way they sung it, and I didn't sing it as myself. I'm doing this. She loves him more, seems like they never let each other go. I'm using all this extra air and this super whispery sort of sound. That's not me. If I was to sing the song now, it'd be, she loves him more, seems like they never let each other go. I would try to have that nice full tone, even if I'm singing quiet. She loves him more, Right? Even when I'm sick, I can still get that sound. But for some reason, I just didn't have the control of my voice that I do now. So you'll hear it pop out where I'm singing the save him, where I'm really belting out there. But then then the next phrase is from the hand that he beats me. Oh, and I'm having a hard time controlling air. So listen for that breathy tone, that breathy timbre. And the contrast between when I sort of use my high register and I sort of belt that out a little more clear. So listen to a little bit of that one more time. Super breathy. Doesn't sound like me speaking. A little bit better. This next phrase, you'll hear it right here. And right after that, you see the seems like they made it to the other side where the grass is greener. right? It's belted out, and then it's super airy quality. So it's one of those things where a more consistent tone. If I was coaching myself, if I was my choral director at the time, I would have made a really clear stand on you need to have a more consistent tone when you sing. So just a few things there, some things that I would work on. But again, you notice there is some improvement between the two. My voice has gotten a little more powerful. I have a little bit more control of it as I've gotten a year older and a year stronger as far as singing. So now we're going to make a huge jump because I don't have a lot of videos up until that point. This is 2014, so this would have been my sophomore year in college. This has been just 3 days before my birthday, actually. So this would have been not that long after, not that long into my sophomore year, so about halfway through. This is a writing competition we had to do. Or not competition. This is a writing class we had to do. We had to write a song, and so I took this text from a high schooler. We all did, and we wrote a song with it. So that's the backstory behind it. We'll listen to a little bit. Okay, just a few things. Okay. So a few things you'll notice improvements actually are my sense of breath. There's never a point in that song where I feel like I'm singing aspirated or singing breathy. Everything seems to have quite a bit of tone to it, even if it's a little bit quieter. When I'm singing even when I go lower, when I saw two doves, my heart was ready from the start. I kept that nice tone. You'll actually hear vibrato too when I'm singing that heart, that nice free sound. That's what happens when you go to college. Part of that is, in the college environment, I'm taking voice lessons 3 days a week, roughly. So I'm getting a lot of extra training that I wasn't getting in high school. I took 3 choral classes in high school, so I was constantly in choir, but it was in a different setting. You're learning in a group of, 50 other people, and you're working individually or working within groups versus this was a lot of individual work. So I made quite a bit of progress in this time. So you'll notice even though I'm using a guitar, I'm a lot more relaxed. I'm more comfortable up on stage. Speaking wise, if you listen to, there's probably still some rambling that I'm doing now, but you'll notice that the voice has gotten a little more comfortable. It's got fuller, more resonant, so I could sing in a recital hall without being mic'd and feel confident. It's just overall, it's improved. And that didn't just happen. It didn't just, I've been singing for 10 years now, so now it's going to be better. Or, for 11 years now it's going to be better. It came through work. It came through practice. And it came through doing stuff like this, looking at myself when I'm singing and saying, hey, how can I get better? And the main thing that happened was I made a huge change in how I breathe. So definitely some improvements there. And then finally, this is maybe I would say I'm going to say the peak or the pinnacle, but it kind of gives you an idea of where I was at. We're just going to listen to the end of this. You don't need to listen to the whole thing. This is all on YouTube if you want to spend time listening to me sing. But so this is 2016. So this would have been my senior year. I spent 5 years in college, so this would have been my 4th year in college. This was for a national singing competition, and this is a piece called Santa Fe. So it's a musical theater piece from the movie Newsies. the musical Newsies, also the movie. And what you're going to notice is I'm going to sing quiet in the beginning, and I'm going to have a really, really good sense of resonance and vibrato and just keeping a nice full tone. And then when I'll go to a belt, and you'll hear that shift, you'll hear that straight tone, and you'll be able to see some of the things that I demonstrated in our previous Edpuzzle. So we'll listen to that a little bit. If it plays the real.
Just be real, it's all I'm asking. Not someone painting in my head. 'Cause I'm dead if I can count on you today. I got nothing if I ain't got set up.
Okay, it's a really short clip, so we'll listen to a little bit after I explain some things. So first off, if you notice my body posture, it's hard because I think I'm doing something right there. Let me see. Okay, let me go back just a few more seconds so you can see what I was trying to get at here. 240. So you'll notice my body posture is a lot more relaxed. My hands are down at my sides, but are just kind of in place. My shoulders are back. I'm looking up. My voice is in the perfect place to sing because my posture is nice and aligned. I'm comfortable because I had been practicing this song a ton, so I was ready for it. You'll also notice that I actually do emote. My hands do come out. They don't stay. So we're looking at that first song and some of the changes or some of the things I was doing there where I was keeping my hands glued to my sides. At this point, I had been in musicals. I had done some work as far as performing and the gestures and the stuff you do in acting to make yourself seem more believable. So that pays out in this. And what you'll notice is when I go to the belt, everything is very relaxed down here. It's working hard, and my throat has that tension. The larynx is pushed up. It belts, and then I release. So we'll listen to that one more time.
Just be real, it's all I'm asking. Not someone painting in my head. 'Cause I'm dead if I can count on you today.
Really quickly, one thing I would say is I feel like I am singing a little too staccato, and I would probably make that change. So if I'm singing, just be real is all I'm asking, not some pain in my head, I would probably, obviously I'm using a music theater timbre, so I'm very bright. If you've noticed some of my other videos that we showed prior, I'm very bright timbre. Everything's very front, very nasal, in a good way, but it's very chopped up. Just be real is all I'm asking, not some pain in my head. And I would rather see just a little bit more legato. So we'll listen to that real quick.
It's all I'm asking, not someone painting in my head. 'Cause I'm dead if I can count on you today.
Good. And then last thing. Oh, there we go. I think if I was to prepare for this note, I think the Santa Fe, the high note worked really well. But I think if I was to prepare again, I would think more legato, and I would make more of those first few notes. I got nothing if I ain't got Santa. So I could pop up to that Fe, because I think that I made too much of the high note, and I think the beginning stuff could have been way better. So listen to that a little bit. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think it's kind of cool to look back and see where my voice has come as far as when I started. And, I really didn't feel comfortable on stage. I didn't feel comfortable using my arms. I felt like my crutch was that I felt like I could sing fairly well for my age. So I kind of stuck to that and didn't really try to use my arms at all. And so it was kind of cool to see the change of feeling more comfortable on stage and being able to use my hands and emote and do those things. That's maybe part of where the waving your arms choral director thing comes to play. But I definitely, for those of you that hear me now, I definitely didn't start there. I didn't start in a place where I could do all of the things I can now. I couldn't sing with the sopranos. I had to work on singing in a falsetto. I couldn't sing with the basses. I had to work on singing as a bass. I had to work on feeling more comfortable in front of people, performing, which is essentially what I'm doing when I'm teaching. There's a lot of things that I talk about with choir, as far as ways to improve ourselves vocally. And most of that came from one-on-one lessons. So those of you who do come to lessons, obviously this year is completely different. But those of you who have been coming to lessons in previous years, it really does make the difference. Because my biggest strides, not that they weren't in high school, but my biggest strides were when I was in college, when I was really studying and working on my craft, and trying to get better at it. But hopefully you've seen some things as we're shifting across here, and you can get a good idea of what ways to critique your voice, things to look at that I look at when I'm looking at myself, and that I could do with my own performance nowadays. So maybe at some point I'll update this and I'll include something from the last few years, but this at least gives you the span of about 7 years. So starting in 2010 and ending in 2016. So sorry, 6 years. So it gives you about 6 years of progression, being pretty heavily involved in music. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys later.